Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott. There's Dave, and man, did we watch a pile of shit today. Blackenstein. Yeah. Wow. Holy crap. Dave?
The full title of the movie is Blackenstein, the Black Frankenstein. Frankenstein was the scientist. He was the doctor.
Yeah, let's get past that part.
If it was the Black Frankenstein, the doctor would have been a black guy.
But the doctor was Dr. Stein.
Only stupid people think the monster is named.
It's Frankenstein's monster. Okay.
It's Frankenstein's monster. I had to get that off my chest. It's been bothering me ever since I saw the credits roll up.
Yeah.
And that's where my problems with this movie started.
I want to get a statue of Mary, Saint Mary, with Christmas tree lights on it.
Like red lights around the head. I was looking at that and I'm like, where in the hell did they film this? Was it like an old Catholic?
I don't know. It was some rich person's house or something, but
it looked more like a mausoleum or like, I don't know what the heck that was, but I love the scene changes. Like every time the scene went to change, they had that stupid photograph with fog blowing in.
Yes.
And a fake lightning blast going across the screen. I'm like, that is, I don't even know why.
I want to know why they made this.
Because some Greek guy had way too much money.
Somebody had too much money, and I think, I don't know, what do you think? They were trying to capitalize on Blackula or something?
Yeah, it had to be.
It's bad. It's bad. If they would have treated the Frankenstein story, Mary Shelley's story, with just changing to a black cast, I think this could have been a decent movie if you wanted to get in on the black representation of this era. Instead, let's just throw a guy in there who was obviously way too old to be in Vietnam and to have such a hot girlfriend.
Oh yeah, there's no way, unless that guy was loaded with money, there's no way he had her as a. She had a PhD in microbiology?
I don't know. She made some shit up at the end.
Or some shit, and I'm like, well, you're 20 years old. How in the hell do you have? You're a super genius, lady. You are like super scientist.
Your boyfriend is 40 something.
Yeah.
And has no arms and legs.
And he had no other marks on his body.
No.
It's not like he had.
And
why in every movie is the orderly always some psychotic white fat guy?
I know, right?
Why?
With an anti-war message.
With an boy.
Message.
I was waiting for Damon Wayans to walk in. Message.
Oh my God, dude. It's just like we talk about. It's like, I'm sitting there watching that and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, I know it was the 70s. I think this is what, 71? 70?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what year it was. But, folks, if anybody who's just coming, and let's say this is your first episode you watch with us, we are a spoiler waiting to happen. We're going to talk about how bad this movie was and every bad aspect, because there are no good aspects of this movie.
It ended. That was a good aspect.
That was a good aspect, but how it ended was horrible.
I thought it was kind of funny.
It was funny, but it was horrible. I mean, it was just like, what? That was it.
Yeah.
We'll start back where we left off with the guy in the hospital with no arms.
Just laying around.
And the bad stereotype orderly being just the psychotic.
Every time.
And, it doesn't matter whether they're white or black or Asian or, Filipino. They're always bad guys. The orderlies are always dicks. And I'm almost sure that's an exception and not the rule. Just if it was the rule, I think we'd have a lot more problems than we do in this country.
You think?
At least in the hospital system.
Yeah.
But it was poorly written. It was just badly. The doctors, like you said, the doctor's name was Stein. I mean, the only thing that would have made it worse is if his first name would have been Frank.
Yeah. And then if they were going to do that and just spoof the shit out of it, I'm
If it
good.
was if it was spoof, it would have been great.
Yeah.
What would you trust any doctor? I don't give a crap whether he was getting some BS Nobel Prize, which is BS anyway, even back in the 70s. But when you walk into his operating theater and he has electrical electrodes, bzz, 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 Frankenstein monster shit going on, would you look at that guy and go, I'm going to trust him with my boyfriend. I'm going to trust this man with my boyfriend's life.
Yeah. This doctor used an overhead projector for a microscope. She was wearing plastic safety goggles, for fuck's sake, and he had like copper cans on his head.
He had these special glasses, which you know they were special to keep the radiation out of his eyes because they were so freaking big and round and made to look like they were copper or whatever. And she gets dust particle plastic eye goggles to put on. And I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't she have the same kind of goggles this guy's got on?
Yeah.
I guess the budget wasn't there for that.
Well, they had somewhat of a budget. They had enough budget to make a decent movie. But
there was a scene, I don't know if you caught it, but these are the kinds of things that bother me. You're in this guy's operating theater that's supposed to be, I guess, super tech. Electrical things going from one electrical thing to another, zapping around.
I think the original laboratory for Dr. Frankenstein was more tech than this.
Yeah, it was much more high tech. At least these flashing buttons had numbers and words next to them.
It's true.
I saw that and I thought of you. I thought for sure you were going to make.
They did. They didn't make any sense, but god damn it, they had some numbers.
Excuse me. But there's a scene where the girl. I didn't even bother remembering anybody's names. Okay,
Winifred.
Malcolm, because he deserved to get killed.
Oh my god.
But she goes to sit down in the lab at one time. She's doing tests and tubes, and you think she's going to figure out what's going on, but she doesn't.
No.
She just pours some liquid into another one, mixes it up, and sets it down and shrugs and walks away. She reaches over, she grabs what should have been a stool to bring over to the desk to sit at. But when you look at it, it's a 3-step wooden painter's ladder. that she sits on. And I'm thinking, oh, why didn't you guys just get her a chair?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just get her a stool? They couldn't have cost that much.
No.
Those painters, the 3-step painter's ladder, wooden one. I can't even. I mean, it's out of place.
I'm going to back up a little bit and just give a quick synopsis for the story.
Why? What story?
What little there is, this will only take like a minute. This woman who's a doctor, her boyfriend is severely wounded in Vietnam, has his arms and legs blown off, and she knows a doctor who does some made some great advances in science of reattaching limbs and longevity and stuff using some weird DNA that he keeps in hydrogen peroxide bottles with tape, with painter's tape on it or masking tape, with the names written with Sharpies. It just said DNA, RNA. Anyway,
I think they kept mixing them up.
They did. And what happens is, the guy's actually really doing this. It's really cool. He's got this. I love the 90-year-old woman who now has the hots for the doctor because she's younger.
She's younger.
And then you have the Russian with the tiger leg. I'm going to circle back to Boris here in a minute, or whatever his name was. Anyway, you have another orderly, another helper who is psychotic, and he has fallen in love with Winifred, and he mixes up the Russian guy's DNA with the wounded veteran's DNA and turns him animalistic into automatically his head grows. He no longer has a 4 head. He's got like a 5 head. It's so big.
I didn't understand how that happened. Like I'm trying. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt you.
not only that, where the fuck did those clothes come from? He instantly had clothes and shoes.
He was naked when he was in the bed.
He got out of the bed with clothes on. He grew fucking Frankenstein
and those shoes
clothes.
had a polish to them, man.
Yeah. He shined them shoes before he went out to kill all the white women. And you notice that. Well, he did kill one black woman, but he started off killing a bunch of white women.
And why not? They happen to be handy. What I want to know is, he gets up. Okay, he gets out of bed. He's fully clothed with a big flat head and the thing on his across his forehead. He walks to the city. Now, it looks like, now I could be wrong. Maybe this place is like right next to
It looked like he walked across the street.
Maybe it's right next to the VA hospital.
Yeah.
But this motherfucker, he's not walking real fast.
No.
So he gets to the VA hospital where the intern that we were previously talking about is still there.
Of course, because they never leave.
1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And he finds him magically. He walks right to the guy in whatever room.
Past everybody else in the hospital.
Nobody sees this guy break through the door. There's nobody walking in the hallway. Nobody hears anything. He kills the orderly, which the guy had to come up. It's, that was, justice served. Okay. Didn't mind him to getting killed by ripping the guy's arm out and eating it. But that's, which is, again, justice served. I get it. But then he just goes on a rampage killing people.
Yeah, and it's random.
Why is he just killing random people? It made no sense. Like, and wild animals, if they were trying to say he was digressing to a wild animal.
Yeah.
Wild animals don't generally just go kill things just to kill things.
A rabid one, yeah. But
when they're rabid, yes. But like lions and tigers don't go kill a gazelle just to go fucking kill a gazelle.
Yeah.
And bears, oh my. They don't, they just don't. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell was this guy doing going around just, and 41 minutes. I was very proud of this movie. 41 minutes before you saw a boob.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, oh, we're going to get through this with that. But there they are.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. And again, kills the guy, kills the dog, and kills the half-naked blonde woman coming out. Why is she in high heels and a teddy walking around after she hears her dog squeal, her husband yell, or boyfriend or whatever he was? She still goes out there with a flashlight. She's armed with a flashlight.
Yeah.
Not me, baby. I'm locking those doors. I might yell out the window, hey, you, whoa, hello, but I'm calling the cops at that point. I'm dialing 911 or whatever the equivalent was of 911 back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then I'm locking all my doors and grabbing my gun. And anybody who comes through that door is getting shot.
I don't know why when you said what the equivalent of 911, it made me think of there's a scene in there where they when the police find Dr. Stein, who's been wounded, and he's like, call an ambulance, make it a code 3 with red lights and sirens. What?
Right.
What? No, yeah. Get me one of them trucks with red lights and sirens and bring it in here. We need one of them.
Give me one of them fancy vehicles. Give me one of them fancy station wagons, Billy Ray. Ones with the big lights on the top.
Yeah.
Make lots of woo-woo sounds. Get them over here now.
That's what I thought of when okay. What? Okay, that's pretty much the story. He goes on a killing rampage and
for no reason. And he keeps going back to the cage. He gets tired and goes and takes a nap.
During the daytime. But he only comes out at night.
Well, they only come out at night.
The freaks come out at night.
Winter.
Yeah. As that song says, the freaks come out at night. That's what they were singing about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on that particular album, Johnny and Edgar Winter, they only come out at night as Frankenstein.
Yeah. This is bad.
When I start talking about Johnny and Edgar Winter's blues, their Frankenstein music, that's how bad this movie is. The music, oddly enough, I like the soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah, music.
The soundtrack, whoever they got to do the soundtrack, and I didn't see any credits for that. I was waiting to see if it was somebody, like a name. but I didn't see any credits. Did you? For anybody singing?
No, I shut as soon as the credits rolled. I shut the damn thing off.
Well, the credits rolled backwards too, by the way.
Yeah, that threw me off. It's like, why are you going backwards? What the? Who does that?
Who does? Yeah.
The people who made this travesty did.
Tetris, whatever the hell that guy's name was. I hope somebody slapped him on his hand after this and said, "You are never allowed to make another movie."
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think this movie is borderline. This is not the right word, but it's offensive. It was a blatant cash grab to put a black something in there, and
I think the success of Blackula probably was. I'd have to look, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say Blackula came out first. And
this was degrading.
I know a lot of people make fun of Blackula, but Blackula has a good plot. I mean, him being a vampire makes sense.
Yeah.
Him and in the second movie, they really explain what happened a lot better than they did in the first one, if I'm not mistaken. It's been about a year since I've seen the second one, and God only knows how many years since I saw the first one. But I do remember enjoying both of these movies and thinking that's actually a good movie. It's pretty well put together. Some of it's kind of like, really, come on.
Yeah.
But this Blackenstein was just horrible. Like you said, I think it was a cash grab.
Yeah, it's an early asylum film.
I am not above a cash grab. I am telling you right now, if I could ever do anything that I thought people would spend a lot of money on and make a lot of money, I would. I've been trying to figure that out for my whole life.
I'm with you.
What do I have that somebody could buy and I could retire on?
I want the opportunity to sell out. I get it.
You probably can't see it. Right up on my wall. Can you see that? Up on my wall?
No. Right? I see a bubble.
Right
a
there.
Thought bubble. I can't read it.
In that bubble, it says, I just want the opportunity to sell out.
There we go.
That is my motto. That is what I do.
I get it. It's
the opportunity. I may not sell out. I may look at something and go, no, not even I can sell out to that.
Yeah.
But chances are, if Disney ever offered me anything on anything I have, I would sell it like a bitch.
Well,
yes, Evil Empire, take it. 1, 2, 120.
I hated, it's bad enough that there's bad movies, but this I think was made extra bad because I think it was more exploitive than the quote Blaxploitation films.
Well, it was just a bad movie.
Yeah, but it's the I don't know why it just really bothered me.
The cash grab bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, it's like
you pointed it out. I think and it's just the fact that it was made. They could have taken time to make a good movie. The guy that wrote it and directed it and produced it is all the same guy.
Yeah.
So he must have had the money from somewhere to do the movie, because he hired some names. I mean, the guy who played Stein, I know I'd seen him in a lot of old movies.
Yes.
So he got the guy to do the movie. I don't know why that guy did the movie, other than maybe he hadn't done a movie in 30 years.
You got bills to pay. I get it. I get why anybody would have acted in the movie. Absolutely. But
the black girl, the girlfriend, the physicist. That's what it was. She was a nuclear physicist or something at age 20, which I don't know. Maybe
it could have happened.
There are people that are that smart. I'm not one of them. But she was actually an almost okay actress.
Yeah, just fine.
I'm guessing a couple more movies. If she's been in anything else, I couldn't tell you. But I would say a couple of more movies. She'd probably be a pretty good actress. But everybody else failed miserably.
Yeah.
Malcolm, the main bad guy, the guy who caused all the trouble in the first place, his best bit of acting is when the doctor gets up to go down into the laboratory and Malcolm sits down and eats his breakfast. I'm like, that's not acting. That actor was probably really hungry that day.
That was the food for the day.
He dug in, And why is Malcolm, who's a doctor, I think he introduces him as a doctor,
Yeah.
And then as an assistant, why is Malcolm serving?
I know. That was
Why is
weird.
Malcolm not sitting at the table with the other
Because he was
two?
a doc. Yeah. Oh, because he was black.
Well, so was she.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, that didn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
Now, if
make
he
any
was the
sense.
manservant, I would have been like, okay, yeah, he's the butler. I got it. But he wasn't. He was a doctor.
Yeah.
Why are you serving this guy? He's your, I get it. You got to pay your dues to the guy that's training you. But you don't do housework.
You don't polish his damn shoes. Yeah.
You're not polishing the man's shoes. You had to polish the ex-vet's shoes, evidently, because they were nice and shiny when he put them on.
They were. He had a nice outfit.
And the funny thing is, he was naked again when they went back down into the kennel.
Well, he had to hang him up so they looked nice and fresh. No blood on him, by the way.
And why is there in this hospital, in the basement,
a dungeon?
Why is there a dungeon in this goddamn building?
I know.
In California. Okay.
If you haven't figured it out by now, we definitely rank this right up there with our stinkers. The Devil's Express, Gone in 60 Seconds, Eat My Dust.
Oh,
and
this is definitely
Blackenstein.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy you didn't put Plan 9 from Outer Space in there. Thank you.
No, I will never again. I have such a newfound respect for Plan 9. Plan 9 is now one of my favorites. All it took was to watch the Star Wars Holiday Special and realize that there is a bar that is lower.
Here's the other one. We almost forgot about that one.
Yeah. That one I try not to mention. It's that
it's
shall
that
not
bad.
be named.
It is like the movie the show that shall not be named. This was a hard watch. I started watching it last night, and I was just like, I must be tired.
No,
I was thinking to myself, I must just be really tired, because it was about 12:30, 1 o'clock when I went to bed last night.
Oh, damn.
And, well, I just stayed up and was drawing and inking and stuff. But I'm sitting there watching this, and I must just be really tired. It can't possibly be this bad. I'll start watching it again tomorrow. Like you texted 10 minutes in the movie, you're like, what the hell? And I'm like, I don't know what they were thinking.
I was editing the podcast to upload, and if I had not been sitting there with my laptop editing video and audio, I would have never made it through this movie.
Yeah, this is a bad movie, folks. And like I've said before, we watch the bad movies so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Wow. This, like you said, Scott, if somebody would have taken the time to go page by page, Mary Shelley's original
would have been great,
and got the meat of that and moved it into the 70s and just made it this black scientist that was super smart. And I wouldn't have had a white guy in that damn cast. Stein would not have existed, as far as I'm concerned. It would have been a black nuclear scientist.
You could have just taken the meat of Shelley's story.
Yeah.
And modernized it and put your own spin on it. And you could have had a great Blaxploitation Frankenstein.
And it could have been scary.
We got this shit.
It could have made a scary movie.
Yeah.
Maybe not horrifying, but one that made you kind of uneasy.
Yeah. This made me uneasy because it was so fucking bad.
Yeah, this was just, and what? At the end, I'm going to rush to the end.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
This movie's just a hot mess. Finally, the Black Frankenstein is walking around killing innocent people still. And I thought the girl that was jumping into the dune buggy was going to get away. I honestly thought...
She could have if she had ran out the door. He was shuffling, and she was running, and he still caught her.
And this is my problem with that scene. Literally, this guy is walking. He'd take a step and drag his foot up even with the foot that he just took the step with. He'd take another step, drag his foot. So he was not moving that fast. This girl was running and walking around and she gets, and every time she turns around, he's like right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well, it's because they kept walking in front of that pipe, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, I'm like, how are you not, find a wall, follow the wall to a door.
Exactly.
Do something. But she winds up getting caught by this guy, which right there I was like, there's no fucking way this thing's going to catch her if she's on even a half jog. I could have outrun this guy.
You could have walked faster.
Yes. I mean, I literally could have outrun this guy with no problem. She gets caught. She gets killed. And then suddenly the cops show up. Somehow magically they know
where to go.
Where she's at. And they release the hound. They release the hounds. And all the hounds are Doberman Pinschers. Because back in the 70s, Doberman Pinschers were the meanest, baddest dog. Yep. They were the pit bull of the day. Because nobody had heard of pit bulls yet. To terrorize. The dogs go in there and kill him in 2 seconds.
Yeah. And
he gets shot by Malcolm. Doesn't affect him. But a dog bite.
Not only that, they tear his new limbs off. That was funny.
That's great.
To see that dog run with an arm.
Run with an arm in its mouth. Yeah, that was horrible. But yeah, that's the movie.
That's it. Bad.
Save yourself 78 minutes. That was
bad.
That was the movie. You just wasted 20 minutes watching us talk about how bad a movie was.
It was bad. It was bad.
I will never. Oh God, that hurts. What's your final take?
Don't watch.
Travis.
Don't watch. Don't watch. Oh. I don't. Here's the thing. The only way this had been better is if it wasn't made. I mean, yeah. I'm less speechless by it. It's not the worst thing I've seen, but it joins the ranks of the stinkers.
It's pretty close. It's pretty damn close to one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. At least I didn't try to get up and walk out.
Yeah, of your own house.
Of my own house. And the only reason I didn't try and get up and walk out is because it's chilly out today.
It's too damn cold. Too damn cold.
The dog would have wanted to go for a walk.
All right. So, old ass movie reviews. Final word is stay away from Blackenstein.
Oh God, it's horrible. Stay away.
Next week we end our month. Holy shit!
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Yes, we end our Blaxploitation films with a spoof on the Blaxploitation genre with the Wayans brothers. I'm gonna get you, sucker. So be sure and tune in for a much better movie.
Much better. Much gooder.
A gooder. Catch you next week.
Cheers.